the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay, breaking down plays.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving holiday. It is now the turn of the calendar here in December, and this is the Chasing the Highlights podcast. My name is Lonnie Washington, and I'm here today with my co-host, Tony Robinson. He's in Texas, and I am in Arizona. So hopefully where you are, you're trying to keep warm because everywhere across the country is cold weather. And this is football season. Here's where, the real playoff run starts in the NFL. And, it's a really exciting time of year if you have a team in the race. Obviously, I'm a Commanders fan, so my team is not in the race. However, we're still, we're still fighting, right? And it's good to see that. And today I'm still a little upset at the game that happened on Sunday, but I'm encouraged by the fight that my team still have, even with a lot of players out and Jaden Daniels still not playing in the game. So it is going to be what it is. We know that we're going to be, looking towards next year. But at the end of the day, going into overtime with one of the best teams in the NFL on Sunday with the Denver Broncos, and just coming up, a little short. And it was a good game overall. I mean, I wasn't expecting this much fight for my team. Obviously, Terry McLaurin. He made a big difference, when he came back in the lineup. Him and Patrick Surtain was going at it all the time there in this particular game. Marcus Mariota out. That's an early pick that cost us a lot there. Some points, real bad, but he cleaned everything up, and he came through at the end of the game. He did overthrow some balls in this particular game, but you know what? He's a backup for a reason, right? He's a backup. He's 1-5 this year as a starter, but he's played tough. And our defense, found a way to try to keep us in this game. But at the end, in overtime, we went for 2 points, a 2-point conversion, and the ball was knocked away. But I think that was the right decision in that particular instance. And so, you know what? Hats off to the Denver Broncos. They're really rolling right now. And Tony, I'll give you a chance to jump in on this one if you want. I know you were texting me a little bit in this game.
Yeah. I thought y'all were going to win this game. I sent you a text I think when they're making when they're coming back and stuff like that, and I was like, they're going to mess around and win this game. And it came down to that last. I mean, he was so wide open for the 2-point conversion. I thought he had it, but then again, I was like, they don't want to win, right? So
yeah. When you have a bad team, Tony, and I always say this, right? When you have a bad teams find a way to lose a game, right? They don't make the plays that they have to make, and and when you have a lot of backups in the game, that's no excuse. Though this next man up. I expected this team, even with a bunch of injuries, to win, and I was just so wrong about this team. We're an older team now, and we have to do some more changes this year. We got to get Jaden Daniels healthy. We might see him next week. We still don't know. But at the end of the day, I think now that he probably, I would love to see him not play, but I understand why he still has to play, just to get on the field and have a little confidence going into next season. But we have nothing to prove anymore. I don't think I would risk it. But, who knows? He wants to play. So, you know what? Whatever. Yeah, it's a tough one. So you know what? Week 13 saw several underdog victories, including the Panthers upsetting the Rams with a strong defensive performance that forced Matthew Stafford into multiple turnovers, and the Bengals defeated the Ravens. That was a crazy game. I wasn't expecting that performance, from Joe Burrow, but he is that dude when he's back in the lineup. Despite having a poor defensive ranking, the Bengals really put some heat on Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens just haven't really looked good, in my opinion, for like the last 2 or 3 games. And I think a lot of other people would agree with me. The Chiefs lost to the Cowboys, further denting their playoff chances. And so, Tony, I'll start off a question this week with you. What game last week surprised you the most? And there's a lot of games out there, but when you look back on last week's games, what game kind of like the biggest surprise for you? If you're thinking about what team that kind of like was like, wow, that was a surprise.
I mean, like I was saying before, I had to say the Cowboys game because everybody, I picked the Cowboys last week to win this game, and And I felt because of the 2 pickups they picked up at the D tackle spots was integral to them slowing the run game down, allowing them to get coverage sacks and stuff like that because they were getting in on Mahomes and stuff like that. And I mean, they played okay, but the Chiefs anyway. But I feel like they have a shot to like be dangerous in the playoffs right now. I saw this going on with this these 2 additions. So and then Overshown back and stuff like everybody. So hopefully they can keep it going. And another one I think is I wanted the Colts to win, but they couldn't do it. It's like they keep showing us like they're not who I think they are. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah. And I mean, for me, I thought the Browns was gonna take it. we gonna get to that though. But,
and that being said, man, the Texans beat the Colts 20-16. The Colts are in trouble. And when I say the Colts are in trouble, the Colts are in trouble. The Texans, are the defense is number 1 ranked defense. You had C.J. Stroud come back last week. He looked pretty good, hooking up with Nico Collins. And they just actually, they only need just a little bit from C.J. Stroud, because their defense is so good. As you can see, it was a tight game, but this is going to go a long way to see who determine who wins the AFC South. And right now, we thought the Colts a month ago were the darlings of the NFL. We were talking about, how Daniel Jones looks so good. Now he has some injuries with his fibula, kind of a fracture, a small hairline fracture or something going on with his fibula. He can't move around. And if teams stock the box, right, against them, they're going to have a really, really hard time with trying to win football games. If you're asking Daniel Jones to win the game for you without a running game, there's going to be some problems, Tony.
The other game I was thinking about too, the game that I picked, and you picked the other team. The Bears.
Ben Johnson. Yeah, we'll talk about them too. We got to talk about the Bears.
That's going to be a good one.
This was a crazy game. So, looking back at the Colts, Tony, are the Colts going to make the playoffs after the loss of the Texans and a brutal schedule down the stretch? I mean, they have a brutal schedule down the stretch.
Yeah, what we talked about earlier, you got it depends on what kind of team Jacksonville is going to be because they play them twice down the stretch. And they have a couple other teams. I mean, every team that they play down the stretch is going to be hard for them. I don't see them. I don't see them winning those games unless they can steal 2 from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I mean, that's the only way they're going to get in. But Jaguars is playing. Well, you just don't know what you're going to get from Jaguars. They play the teams they're supposed to beat. They struggle with the teams. It kind of goes. You don't know what you're going to get. So. With that being said, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's not looking good though, like you said.
It's not looking good, and I'm going to show you why it's not really looking good.
Yeah,
because they have the crazy tough remaining schedule. When you start looking at this, the Colts have to play the Seattle Seahawks. Right, the San Francisco 49ers, and then they have to play the Jaguars twice. And this is going to be wild. When you look at the toughest remaining schedules, I don't see the Colts going in and beating the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. That San Francisco game is not going to be easy either. And then you got to play a division rival, and they've got to play the Jags this week. And we'll talk about that later, but they're going to play the Jags this week in Jacksonville. So I'm not really, they could actually miss the playoffs after having such a great start.
Yeah. I mean, playing the NFC West, I mean, NFC West is the hardest division to play this year. And I mean, only thing I could see is that, well, no, I think all these teams got to play it out. They can't sit anybody, this early. So they have to play it out. Looking at this, can't beat Seattle in Seattle. I don't see that happening. Niners, you can't beat them. I just don't see it happening because you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
I say they're not in.
Oh, wow. Wow. And then everybody's talking about the Bears too. They had a great victory over, the Philadelphia Eagles, where they had over 200 yards, 280 yards rushing in Philadelphia. And we all picked everybody picked them. Everybody picked the Eagles, thought the Eagles were going to win. But, it didn't work out for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Philadelphia Eagles have a lot of problems now. And they're looking in the rearview mirror at the Dallas Cowboys, who beat the Kansas City Chiefs, on Thanksgiving Day. And there's nothing that I can say right now to justify about the Eagles on how they're looking. I mean, are we seeing a 2023 Eagles that started 10-1 and then lost 6 out of 7 games down the stretch? But the Dallas Cowboys is right on their heels right now. And so I would say that I have a lot of questions about the Eagles, but we can't overlook the Dallas Cowboys either. I mean, this Dallas Cowboy team, they deserve the win. 31-28, and Patrick Mahomes, he did a Houdini act down the stretch, right? He did a Houdini act down the stretch, and almost pulled it off for them to get this win. But Dallas and their offense was just too much for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying earlier, and it's like I feel like they just have too much, because I mean, that offense is stout, and now that you solidified your defense with those D tackles, it's just like it's hard to see. I mean, they gave up 28 points still. I mean, it's against Mahomes, but that offense is still high powered, and it's just hard to stop them, like completely stop them, because they have so many ways they can carve you up. And I just feel like they got a shot to go deep in the playoffs on the NFC side. I could say that,
but they're not in yet. So
yeah.
They got a lot to go, lot of time to
They
go.
gotta stay healthy and stuff like that.
But they still have to prove that they probably got to get some help. And they might have to win out. And then I think that possibly they can, but we can't put them in there yet. But nobody really wants to play the Cowboys right now, including the Detroit Lions on Thursday night. We'll get to that in the second half of our show. I guess we gotta talk about this, right? I don't like talking about it, but I guess I gotta talk about this. All right, I gotta talk about Shedeur Sanders and the Browns. They lose to the 49ers 26-8. In a game, just so you guys know that my dad watched this. My dad is blind, and I put him in front of the TV so he could listen to the game. He couldn't see the game, and he got so tired of Cleveland Browns that he couldn't stomach it anymore in the second half. Third quarter, mid-third quarter, he says, "Lonnie, turn this thing off, man. Put another game on for me, man. I don't think the Browns are going to win this game." And they had some weather conditions there with 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. Shedeur Sanders had 53 yards passing in the second half and a total game QBR of 16.1. He was sacked 3 times. He was 16 of 25 for 149 yards and 1 touchdown. But because I didn't watch the whole game, my buddy Tony here, the resident Cleveland Browns fan, said that this doesn't totally tell the whole story of what happened in the football game. But I always go by the stats. Hey, this is the stats, the way it looked. Just looking at everything, Shedeur Sanders wasn't doing this, right? So tell me, Tony, what happened in this game with Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns?
Well, the first half, the game was, we were winning the game. We were winning 8-7. They ended the quarter to make it, 10-8 or whatever. But when we get to the first half, immediately in the third quarter, I think it was a kickoff that was kicked. The guy receiving the ball caught the ball on the 6-yard line, which put us in bad field position starting or whatever. Yeah. And I think that was the play. I just want to make sure. I might be wrong, but it started this way. And we went 3 and out, but it was a 3 and out, but we went for it on 4th and 1. It was 4th and 1, like on the 30 or 25-yard line on our side of the field. Right. They tried to run it. They tried to not even quarterback sneak it. So usually we do like a wildcat on the goal line or whatever, like that. Shador wasn't in the game. I didn't see Junkins either. It was just Fanning going under center, trying to take a direct snap to go push the pile or whatever. On our side of the field, he fumbles the ball.
Wow.
Fumbles it. Just gives the ball back because he couldn't advance it or whatever, something like that. Well, he fumbled the ball. So from there, I kind of saw it as we're still close in the game. Why don't you punt the ball? I could see if we were at the 50-yard line or the 40 on their side of the field, but nobody has ever done it like right at that point. Our team hasn't, because somebody came into the comment section saying, "Oh, Kevin Stefanski does this all the time." Like, no, the Detroit Lions does this all the time. We never go for it on fourth down like this much, that aggressively. Not on our side of the field like that, right? So from there, you got the 30 mile winds and stuff like that. Both sides, Purdy couldn't pass the ball properly. I mean, because our defense is really stout or whatever, but the wind was kind of causing a lot of issues for everybody. It wasn't just Shador; it was both sides of the ball. I mean, both teams and stuff like that. So it was a power run. They're running the ball a lot, right? Yeah. So, and there's things that Shador did wrong. He wasn't perfect, but we can't blame it on him because we couldn't, as a team, we couldn't do anything because either we were hamstrung by coaching decisions or people making bonehead plays, catching the ball on a 6-yard line on the kickoff when he could have went out of bounds. Why don't you just let the ball go, just see where it goes? I mean, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell.
Totally. I have a problem with just. I know he had a pretty decent first half, Shedeur Sanders, and I have a problem with the 16.1 QBR, right? And that's from ESPN. I mean, every quarterback is rated, and I know that's the problem I have with his stat and the 53 yards passing, the wind and everything like that. I just think that he has to be better because all the spotlight is on him.
He's a rookie in his second game.
It doesn't matter. He's a rookie that is trying to get playing time. And if it ain't with the Cleveland Browns, he has to put enough on tape while he get in the game in case the Cleveland Browns get rid of him.
He's putting enough on tape. He's putting enough
on tape for what?
To keep starting. He's starting next game.
Look, he hasn't put enough on tape to keep starting. They're just letting him start so they can see.
He's not losing in the game. He's not losing in the game. He didn't turn the ball over this last game.
Well, he has a good chance again because he plays a bad Titans team this week. So let's see what he does again. Just like the Raiders, he went out there. But when you play good teams, he's got a gift coming to him this week.
He plays solid against this good team. What you're missing, like these stats right here, you just going off the QBR, but the stats 16 for 25, that's 64% passing. There's a conspiracy out there because they said that the line for him was to go over 150. If you go over 150, a lot of people played that. They played the over. And they stopped him from scoring. It's just a conspiracy, but that's what they're. But I'm telling you, it's out there.
What we should do is we need to hold Shedeur Sanders to the same standard that we hold all the other starting 31 quarterbacks in the NFL that played in Week 13. And so that's the standard. I just want to see more from the young man. And when you win, you get the praise. When you lose, we got to figure out, hey, you're the starting quarterback.
But when you don't when you don't watch the second half, you don't see all the stuff that went on to keep them from actually doing anything. So that's what I'm trying to say.
If somebody sees the stat line, they're going to say, "Oh man, Shedeur Sanders didn't do much."
That's why I say it's without context. Like you got to see the second half to know what happened.
Yeah, well, people
they barely possess the ball. They barely possess the ball.
Look, the Cleveland Browns are not the darlings of the NFL. They don't get the Dallas Cowboy attention. That people want to tune in to see Shedeur Sanders, but that's about it. The Cleveland Browns defense that was supposed to be good and supposed to stop somebody, they didn't stop anybody. They didn't stop. I saw McCaffrey run all over them.
Yeah, it's because of decisions that Coach Stefanski made, getting stopped on our side of the field, trying to run for it, on 4th and 1, and then he fumbles the ball. So you put the defense in a bad position. That's why they got in that position to score. It was so easy. And there's other issues too that it's all coaching with this.
So it wasn't just coaching in this game. I mean, you know, Jerry Judy and Shador Sanders had a back and forth on the sidelines too.
Yeah, that is it.
What was Jerry Judy upset about in this particular game? What was he actually mad about in this game?
So he was mad. He was mad about a pass that he felt that was overthrown. But everybody that watched the game, everybody that played football that talked about this is saying that he didn't give his all to go catch that ball because he slowed down. He didn't even put his hands up to try to attempt to catch it. He just stopped. He just like stopped running. Like you can't. Most people, most true wide receiver ones, they're gonna try to sell out for that to catch that ball if they really have his best interest at heart. But he obviously he's never. Jerry Judy has been a. Let me start here. I'm getting heated with this dude. so I'm gonna start with this. Jerry Judy has always been a headache for any team that he's played for. With the Broncos, he was the same way, dropping passes, whining, and like doing all this stuff. Right? Comes to Cleveland, has a great 2023 season with Flacco and everything. Does really good. Right? This, and fast forward to now. Now he's dropping passes when Flacco's there, dropping passes with Dylan Gabriel. Gets with Shador, he's dropping some passes, but he's getting more back passes thrown to him because he's getting a deep ball thrown to him now. So he's feeling himself a little bit, right? He gets one pass that, let's say, it was probably equal blame. But he's gonna blame. Everybody wants to blame Shador for the deep ball that he missed him or whatever. Let's just blame Shador, right? As a veteran wide receiver, you have to, with a rookie quarterback, no matter who it is, you have to go over to him and be like, "Rook, I got you. Where you need me to be next time?" The way he went over to him, he added fuel to the already fire that Shador is already under. And I feel like Jerry Judy should be gone at the beginning of the next season. If it was me, bro, I would be sitting him down right now because he's a rotten apple that's causing more drama because he's never all the stuff that Dylan Gabriel did and was not hitting him and like he wasn't catching the ball and he's never like argued with Dylan Gabriel like this. Why are you going to Shador now? So it seems kind of sketchy. It pissed me off when I saw that because it's like I never seen you do this to Dylan Gabriel, but you want to do this to Shador. Like he didn't do it to Flacco either. Like I'm like, what do you now? You want to do it? Now you want to get all puffy and stuff like that, like and Shador.
Yeah, I mean,
and it feels like he was trying to bait him into doing something like get into an argument. But Shador just stood up and was like, "Dude, you tripping? Like, chill." He's like he wanted to say, but the cameras is right there in that moment. Like it was set up. It's like all of a sudden they like want to be like right there in that moment. So yeah,
I was surprised to see it, and look, at some point, if you're a player, a wide receiver, you've got the revolving door. Those guys are getting paid money. They want the ball. They want their highlight reel. And yeah, we can point back to the stupid play when Judy caught the ball and was running down the sideline and got caught in the butt.
He wants to prance and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't see the guy behind him. He thought nobody was behind him, and he made a mistake there, but it wasn't a good look. Just on the sidelines and doing all those things.
You saw that play though, right? It wasn't a good look. He talking about he wanted to cut back. It was three guys right there. You had the sideline, right up the sideline. Just get up sideline, get out of bounds.
Like, well, he was so happy that he got the ball. He didn't know what to do with it.
He found
I mean, we got to move on, but I mean, it was that the things that's going on in Cleveland Browns. I didn't even get to Dylan Gabriel's girlfriend. I'm not even going to go into that. I'm not even going to go into Dylan Gabriel's girlfriend stuff. But that's a little too much. I can only stomach so much, and I think we spent enough time in the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. But it is what it's going to be, right? And so I got to talk about these guys, right? And I got to talk about these guys. Okay, the New England Patriots, they beaten people over the head. All right, they've won 10 straight games, and Drake May has over 3,000 yards passing. I think already he leads the league in passing, and he has not had a 300-yard game passing. He's doing this without having a 300-yard game passing, I believe. And it's just unbelievable what he's doing and seeing that They mauled the New York Giants last night on Monday Night Football. They mauled the New York Giants because it was easy for the Patriots to just, say forget it. We're going into our bye week to have a letdown and to let the Giants breathe. But they didn't let the Giants breathe. This is a sign of a good team, well coached. They came out, they put the Giants out real quick. The Giants never had a chance from from the first quarter on. The Giants never had a chance in this particular game. So the New England Patriots are, to me, they're playing the best ball at the best time. And guess what? They've weathered the storm of having 13 straight weeks go by without having a bye week. Now they have a bye week, and they're going to be well rested when they come back home to host the Buffalo Bills. Now, Tony, do you believe that the New England Patriots right now are the best team in the AFC, even over the Denver Broncos?
Yes, because I have Bo Nix in my. We talk about this on every podcast week, and I feel like Bo Nix and that offense they're not consistent when they're supposed to win. They don't do anything. Like when they played against like the New York Jets, they only won 13-11. Like, and then when they play these good teams, then they play where they're supposed to play.
Yeah.
But it's like when you play the terrible teams, you're supposed to beat them down, blow them out by 30-0, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I feel that's how I feel like good teams are supposed to be doing it. And I feel like New England have their little issues, but I feel like New England's more consistent because of the coaching. Not saying that the Denver coach is bad, but I feel like Vrabel is a great coach because he's from the Belichick tree, right? So he's on the defensive side. They're going to take somebody away. It's the typical pro football style anyway, but mostly from Bill Belichick era, and that's where Vrabel does, and he did it in Tennessee as well. He'll take away something that the team pretty much has, just like what he did against the Browns. He took away Judkins and whatever, and then and I just feel like they're really they have a chance to beat whoever, and even in win the Super Bowl potentially if they can make it that far. Because their team is structured so good, especially with the coaching staff and like all the pieces that are around Drake May too. And I think the defense is solid. They've always been solid for the last few years, but it's just the offensive side had to come together and and stuff like that.
Right. If you're looking at the playoff picture that I just put up on the screen, I mean, the New England Patriots are the number one seed if the season was to end today. We obviously has four games or so left. But you're looking at Buffalo as a 7th seed. They would go to Denver. The coach that I don't even think we're going to have the coach in this picture at the end. They would go to Jacksonville. And mind you, they still play Jacksonville twice, right? And then you've got the Chargers, who are going to be without Justin Herbert possibly, with his broken wrist, his fractured wrist. They would go to Baltimore. And so when you look at this and you see also the Chicago Bears in the NFC that are up on the board there as a number one seed, which is absolutely amazing to see that the Chicago Bears would be the number one seed if the playoffs was to start today. But I don't think that the Chicago Bears are going to hold the number one seed. I like what I've seen, but it's hard to believe that Green Bay Packers are not going to really put not going to put some heat because they played the Green Bay Packers twice. Okay, over the next 4 games, it's hard to believe that the Green Bay Packers aren't going to go in there and have something to say about the playoff picture at the number one seed mark there for the Bears. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay's defense is what worries me.
And mind you, they beat the Lions over Thanksgiving week.
Well, the way I look at the Bears, I see like they just went in and did what they did to the Eagles, man. Like I don't know, that's hard when you see that how they just beat them just in the running game, right?
Yeah,
just the running game alone, like. And I mean, do they play them again? They play the Eagles again?
No, who, the Bears?
Yeah, they shouldn't play them again, right? So I saw it on your thing earlier. But
not unless they make the playoffs.
But yeah, so I mean,
yeah,
I think the Bears got a shot to keep this going. I got to look at the rest of the schedule for them.
No, they have a tough one.
But I feel like the LA Rams could make
the
another
Rams
push.
too.
Yeah, because I just feel like this is a one-off for how bad he played, the quarterback played and stuff like that. I just feel like they're still a pretty good team. Oh,
I
here we
think
go.
that's what you was wanting to
Yeah, I
see.
saw the Eagles get there again, so that's why I saw that. For
Yeah,
some reason.
they already played the Eagles, so that's kind of, this is a little bit older, but they already played the Eagles, but they got Green Bay twice, San Fran, and then they got Detroit again. That is a gauntlet.
Yeah, that's
That is a
tough.
gauntlet.
That's
So
a
I,
gauntlet.
yeah,
That is a
like I said,
gauntlet.
I don't think the Bears are gonna. I don't think the Bears are gonna stay the number one seed. I still think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't think they're gonna lose to the Green Bay Packers twice. If they get the split, and then maybe, they get the split with San Fran or Detroit, so that still gives them, a winning record and probably in the playoffs in the NFC.
I feel
So at the
like
end of the day, that's what I'm
yeah,
looking at there. So,
yeah,
we're up against our break.
yeah.
So we're gonna be taking a quick break, and in 30 seconds, excuse me, in 1 minute, we're gonna be back, and we're gonna be talking about week 14 of the NFL. And sit tight. We will be back. Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is Lonnie on the Chasing the Highlights podcast. I got my co-host here, Tony. He's in Texas. I'm in Arizona. We're going to start talking about week 14, and week 14 kicks off with a pivotal matchup against the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Detroit Lions. This week also features several key divisional games with significant playoff implications. But if we're starting off, with on the Thursday night football, and I think this is going to determine if the Dallas Cowboys can possibly make the playoffs, if they can go in Detroit and beat the Detroit Lions. Amon St. Brown, he's not playing this week. He's already out. So that is a big loss. It seems like in the Detroit game against the Packers, when he went out the game, it doesn't seem that Detroit Lions was the same team. And so, Jared Goff is back there scrambling around trying to look for people to throw to. And, it's just tough for him without St. Brown in the lineup. And so, we're going to be looking at, trying to figure out how how this all plays out. But I'm going to tell you. So we're going to start right now, Tony. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Detroit Lions on Thursday night. And this is going to be this is going to be real good football in December. I mean, geez, I just can't say that if there's a Thursday night game that you have not watched this year, you got to watch this particular game. What do you think, Tony, about this one?
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a shootout, but I feel like the Cowboys going to do enough to get by, only because they have Laporta out for season-ending injury, and
Yep.
And then Amon-Ra St. Brown just went out. And the only thing that I can see is that Jahmyr Gibbs going off. If Jahmyr Gibbs gets going, like they start dumping the ball off to him because they're gonna have to dump the ball. They can't like run him off the middle because I feel like that defense is gonna stop the run. They got to just dump it off to him. I mean, they're gonna probably soften him up with Montgomery. Just to, I guess knuckles you call them. And then you have Jahmyr Gibbs just getting the dinks and like just breaking, stuff like that. So they're gonna have to figure something out. I got Cowboys in this one.
Ooh, that's developing. Wow. All right. Yeah. Well, I got Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions will find a way to try to win this game. There are a lot of injuries. The Detroit Lions do have a lot of injuries, but I think you got a home game in Detroit. You can't let what happened against the Green Bay game. You got two gifts. You're going to have two Thursday night games, two Thursday primetime games. The Green Bay Packers went in your turf and spanked you, if you're Detroit Lions. And now you got the Dallas Cowboys that's hotter than almost any team in the NFL just because they've got their defense looking better. Their defense is looking better. The offense was already one of the top offenses in the NFL. Now they made some trades. They got the defense looking better. Dallas Cowboys should win this game, but I'm still going to go with the Detroit Lions. I still have some type of belief that the Detroit Lions will somehow win this particular game. And we didn't talk in the first block about this particular game. We didn't talk about this particular team. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, right, decides that he's going to come back and put the cape on, right? This is what he's done. Out 9 weeks with a toe turf surgery, comes back. He's got the defense looking better. The energy and everything of the whole team, the whole vibe of the team is just looking totally good. They go in and put a spanking on the Ravens. All right. Now the Bengals got to go to Buffalo in a game that if the Bengals want to have any chance at the AFC North, they have to win this game. But Buffalo, if they have a chance to try to stay ahead of, try to stay pace with the New England Patriots or even just get a wild card spot in the AFC, they need to make sure that they come out the gate and beat the Bengals. What do you think about this one?
I mean, if they can do what they've been Buffalo's been struggling. The last 5 games.
They got a big win last weekend.
Yeah, they got a big win, but they still kind of sputtering to me for some reason. I don't know what it is because I mean, they're looking better, but I feel like they need to start locking in on the playoff hunt. Because I mean, you get a team like Cincinnati with Joe Burrow back, like you said. I feel like he can come in. Yeah, I mean their run defense has to be able to stop the Bengals because if you don't stop the Bengals with Chase Brown coming in and with Joe Cool coming in and be able to throw the ball too. I don't know what the weather implications are going to be or whatever the.
It's December. Buffalo's going to be frigid.
Yeah, if it's snowing or if it's no snow on the ground and everybody's able to move freely and the wind is not blowing too hard, I feel like Cincinnati got a shot, but I'll take the Bills slightly because of how they've been playing the last 5 to 6 games. I mean,
they haven't really been playing well, but they're doing enough to stay in the playoff hunt.
Yeah. It's just giving up those yards in the run game. It kind of bothers me. So
yeah, and also the Steelers at the Ravens. This is for first place in the division, right? The Steelers, the way they looked last week was atrocious. This is for first place, and it's going to be an interesting game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you're a Steelers fan. Are you tired of Aaron Rodgers right now? He went to the Jets. It was supposed to be the safety for the Jets. They didn't do anything. Aaron Rodgers came to them. He's got a broken wrist. And then when he gets sacked, last week and went on almost face planted and had to brace himself with that broken wrist and came up with the bloody nose and had to go out the game temporarily and Rudolph had to come in. And it was bad. And then Rodgers came back in and tried to salvage things. And then in the press conference, Rodgers saying basically, hey, we all go to meetings. But what that basically saying, not quotes, but paraphrasing, Rodgers basically said, we all go to the meetings every week, all, the wide receivers, we all go to meetings, but it ain't translating out to the field, right? That's basically what he said. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers has never elevated in his later years. He has never elevated any team, any player, any one player. He's not that quarterback that's going to elevate that one player. And it doesn't seem like he's doing anything different than what he's done even when he was with the Jets. And so now we have to figure out, all right, do you have one last hurrah in you, Aaron Rodgers? Because this is it. You're going to play the Ravens. Can the Steelers win this game?
I don't see them winning this game only because Rodgers with that injury, like he looks, I mean, he's 40, what is he, 40 something?
41. I think his birthday was, I don't know.
I mean, I'm 45, but I'm not saying he's old, but it's like, I just feel like with the broken bones and is like, he shouldn't be playing. And it's sad. It's sad because he has to play because Mason Rudolph is not good. Right. And what I saw, there was a Steelers post that I saw like on their fan page or whatever. They want to see Will Howard from Ohio State, the rookie.
Oh no,
because they didn't draft him to sit
though.
And hold the clipboard for a long. Like they brought when they had Roethlisberger, they put him right in, and they had a nice squad around Roethlisberger, and he won
against the Ravens. Though I mean, why would you?
Hey, Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl his first year.
I don't think Will Howard is
he's
the
a Buckeye, so I had to give him a shot.
I don't think
Will Howard. You heard it here first. Will Howard. I tried.
He might be a JJ McCarthy if he gets in the game. Inaccurate throws, running for his life because of you don't want him. This is not the game you want him in, right? Because the Ravens defense is going to come after him.
Yeah, true, but you still have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, if you don't feel like you can do it, Rodgers with this injury, like he's not doing it. And Rudolph, I mean, he can't do it. So let's try this other guy out now. We drafted him.
I don't want to see him in the game. So now you got the Bears at the Packers, buddy. You got Caleb Williams that just went in to Philadelphia and they put a beat down on the Philadelphia Eagles. Their running game is crazy, right? Their running game is one of the top running attacks in the NFL. All they do is just keep running the ball. They're hitting you in the mouth, and they're not asking Caleb Williams to win any games. And they're just out there on their case right now. And the Bears are going into Green Bay, and man, Micah Parsons got 12.5 sacks already this year, and he's on pace probably for 16 sacks. And overall, they got to go to play the Packers. And the way the Packers looked last week on Thanksgiving Day against the Lions, their offense looked good. And so I'm not quite sure what to say about this game. I got a lot of my brother and a lot of other friends are Bears fans, but I think that the Packers. I keep saying this, and the Bears just keep winning, but I think this week they get their loss. Bears lose against the Packers. Packers win.
Well, I mean, the Vegas line is -6.5. So, I mean, it's going to be a close game. I got the Bears. I'm riding this.
Oh man,
I'm riding this winning streak. I'm riding this winning streak. I mean, it's hard because it's going to be hard for them to do the same thing they did last week. I don't think the Bears are going to win with the running game against the Packers. I don't know for sure. It's kind of hard to tell.
But it depends what defense shows up for the Packers, right?
Yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, but they stop the run a little
better. On defense sometimes. They disappear in some games, but when they're on, boy, one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, they stop the run pretty well. So it's like I got the Bears.
Oh wow.
Because I want to see them win because I've been saying this all season about Ben Johnson's offense and and Caleb Williams and like I feel like it's gonna keep going and they just turning and turning. I'm not a Bears fan, so I'm not getting paid by anybody from the Bears. I don't have anything.
Nope. You're not a Bears fan. But Boy, that's going to be a crazy game. I got the Packers. All these games this week are must see, right? You've got the Colts at the Jags, and I think that I think when we've talked about this earlier in our pre call before the podcast earlier, and I said that there was an amazing stat that I saw. I saw that the Colts have not beat the Jaguars, have lost in Jacksonville 11 straight years. Let me say that again. The Colts have lost to Jacksonville in Jacksonville 11 straight years. So I asked you, Tony, is this the year that they break the curse and finally get a victory in Jacksonville?
If we can't get Indiana Jones, I can't see it, because he has to be able to throw the ball and run the ball, and with that hairline fracture in his fibia, whatever, I feel like he's. I think they're kind of hamstrung. Because I feel like the Jacksonville, they're going to put 8 in the box on Jonathan Taylor, and then force them to be Matty Ice. He may turn to Matty Ice. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I said, yeah, I don't see it. I mean, I feel like the Jags going to win at home again, because unless Jonathan Taylor just goes off and you just can't stop him. I mean, that's who needs to show up. The Jonathan Taylor that we know, he has to have like 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the defense has to be lights out, because Jacksonville's offense is pretty solid. So it's just, but they're inconsistent too. So you don't know what
you don't know what team you're gonna get,
and you don't know what Jacksonville defense you're gonna get too. So it's kind of up in the air. But I still got the Jaguars winning at home.
Yeah, I don't, and I said this, that without Jonathan Taylor rushing for 100 yards, then teams will stack the box to stop him and make Daniel Jones, with that hairline fracture in his fibula, which is crazy that he's playing. They'll try to make him beat you on his own, and I don't think he can do it. He has never really been that quarterback that could take that weight on his shoulders to lead a team. And well, he had a good season, a few years ago when he was with the Giants and they went to the playoffs. But they needed Barkley in the running game. They needed that engine to kind of go on the running game. But he's never been that guy to take, the weight on his shoulders to go out there and get the victory. And now that he's injured, last week is an important stat. He only had one rush for 1 yard. So he's intentionally not running. So that's not his game. So we'll see how that pans out. I don't think it's going to look good for the Colts, and I think that they're on a down spiral that they can't get out of, and I think it's going to be crash and burn for them the rest of the way with their schedule that they have. So now we've got the Texans at the Chiefs. This is now if we said that last week when the Chiefs traveled to the Cowboys was a must-win game for both teams. This is a truly must-win game for the Chiefs. They're out of get out of jail free cards, right? They're out of get out of jail free cards in this game. You got a Texans defense that's number 1 in the league, that's traveling to the Chiefs, and boy, this is going to be a good game. But I'm picking the Chiefs in this game, and you know why? It's the dome team traveling to cold weather. That's really why I'm picking the Chiefs. The Texans have to come out of the dome, and it's going to be brutally cold, okay, in Kansas City this time of year in December. And that's why I think I'm giving the intangible to the Chiefs. The Chiefs is not going to be don't care about the weather, but when you got a dome team traveling, I think the Chiefs get it done by the skin of their teeth against this team. And Patrick Mahomes, he gets the win. And you know what? The Texans offense is not the Dallas Cowboys offense. And the Chiefs I almost pulled it out. But the Texans offense is not the Dallas Cowboys offense, but they got a good defense. I think they win this game, Tony.
Well, yeah, Stroud has been struggling all season. And with the weather being cold and like the wind when you're outside of the dome, like we talk about this all the time. And I feel like that's a key factor in this game, and I feel like the Chiefs will win because of how the defense plays better at home, and I think they as a team they play better at home, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like the cold weather is going to just freeze the Texans. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be even close. I feel like they're going to probably pull away. Well, I mean, the defense will probably show up. I just think on the offensive side, they may struggle a lot because they're not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got the Chiefs winning this one.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Chiefs are going to win too.
And I don't want to see the Chiefs. I don't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs, but I just feel like they're going to win.
In.
Yeah.
If they get in, it's gonna be crazy. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So transitioning again to this game, you got the Titans at the Browns, and what is the expectation from Shador? This is one that, just like the Raiders, I believe that the Titans, they've only won one game all season, I believe, right? One or two games all season.
Yeah.
One game all season. They have a rookie quarterback that's struggling, but their defense sometimes plays very well. But they're traveling to a cold weather, team in Cleveland. It's going to be ice cold in Cleveland. Probably wind, who knows, snow maybe. And I expect Shador Sanders to have a good game in this game, right? I'm on this case. I'm real, right? Raiders game, good game, short enough to start. I knew the 49ers were going to create some problems for him with Salah and that defense, just creating some problems with Shador overall. I wasn't expecting Cleveland Browns to really stumble on defense, to not support the young quarterback, right? That can't happen again. But I think that Shador Sanders can muster up enough in the game plan. But what I really want to see from Shador is outside of that 15 play, that first 15 plays, that 15 scripted plays that they normally have, the first couple of possessions, in the first half. I need to see more of him when those plays are no longer scripted out of those 15 plays. How can he handle the offense of the Browns against a real porous and bad team? I expect him to do better. And I don't want to see no wildcat and no crazy stuff with you're taking your quarterback off the field and you're putting a tight end. I don't want to even see Junkins in the game when you get down there on the goal line. I want to see Shador Sanders, how he handles the goal line, right? And scoring a touchdown, how he handles that offense when he gets down there. Stop, take the training wheels off. What are we doing?
Yeah,
what do we think, Tony?
I was gonna say that it's time. This is the game you have to give him more leash. Like, you got to open up the offense and see what he can actually do. He's been studying. Like, he's let's see what he can do. Let's open up the playbook a little more. This is the game to do it, because you have to get him. If you're going to have him play against Buffalo, you have to have that more plays in the script. It's time, and I feel like this is an easy game they should win, but because I'm sure the Titans don't want to win. I mean, I don't feel like the Titans has a chance against our defense. I mean,
they have a chance to get the number one pick. I mean,
frankly. I mean, but their offense is trash anyway, so I feel like they don't have a shot unless hopefully we don't give up any picks or anything like that. But I don't see that happening, because Shador's he's been taking care of the ball pretty well. But we'll see. I got.
He's still a rookie. He's still a rookie.
Yeah. I mean, he is. That's what it is. I mean, everybody's saying the same thing about Dylan Gabriel. Say that give Shador the same grace. Like, but nobody wants to do that. They want to break him down even more because of.
Well,
we've been getting this over.
Let me just say this about this. I'm gonna put a ribbon on. I'm gonna put a nice ribbon on this. Let me just say this. Shador Sanders was supposed to be a number one draft pick, and people in this camp still believes that he was supposed to be a number one draft pick, but he went in the 5th round. Dylan Gabriel was a 3rd round pick. Okay, so if you really truly believe that he was a number one draft pick, then he's supposed to be a little bit better and handle things a little bit better.
Well, he hasn't. He didn't get a chance to play. He didn't get a
But
chance
nobody don't
to
care about
get reps. Like you
no,
you can't get better without reps.
nobody don't care about that because what I'm
Well,
hearing the chatter. What I'm hearing the chatter is that this guy was supposed to be the number one draft pick after what we've seen the last 2 games, 2 or 3 games.
he looked way better than Flacco this year and Dylan Gabriel in this season.
I don't
So
know
he
about
looks
Flacco.
better. He looks way
I
better
don't know
than
about Flacco. I don't know about Flacco.
he
Maybe
looked.
Dylan
Yeah,
Gabriel, but I'll
Flacco
give you
wasn't
that.
doing anything.
Well,
I'm
I
talking
don't.
about on the Browns. I'm not talking about Cincinnati. I'm talking about on the Browns.
Well,
I watched every
yeah.
single
Well, I
game.
mean, you gotta. I mean, let me just say this: when you got a guy from Flacco that you let go after 4 games, you trade him to a division rival, and and Flacco at 40 plus years old, or almost 40 years old, goes and throws for 479 yards in a football game. I say the problem was not Flacco. The
But that
problem
wasn't my.
was the Cleveland
But that's not
Browns.
my point, though. I'm talking about on our team.
Right,
He's
but no,
playing better than
well,
both of those guys on the Browns.
so don't. I know for a fact that he doesn't look better than Flacco. Overall.
When Flacco's in Cincinnati, but on the Browns, he was terrible.
Yeah, he was. But
So
we
that's why I
got
say
we
he
got
looks better.
we got to jump off the Browns. The Browns getting too much time, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah,
It's good
let's
for
roll.
TV.
Let's roll. Oh, no. Yeah, Shador is good for TV, by the way. He's good for the NFL. He's good for the ratings because I'm sure that even though they have a bad record, people will tune in no matter for just 10 minutes just to see him play. All right, so we got to move on. We got the Eagles at the Chargers. The last time that we saw the Eagles was Black Friday, and they were getting their head beat in at home against. They were getting rolled. Okay, they got totally rolled against the Chicago Bears. All right, now they got to travel west. They get a little break from the weather because they're playing the Chargers in the dome, right? And SoFi, nice plus stadium there in LA. And the Chargers have a problem. They have a Justin Herbert with a broken wrist problem on his non-throwing hand. He just had surgery, So looking at this game, you got to say to yourself, wow, he just had surgery. We might see Trey Lance in this game. Can Trey Lance beat the Philadelphia Eagles? Or are the Eagles going to get some sweet revenge in this game? What do you think, Tony?
I mean, Trey Lance has been in this offense for a little while. I think this is second season with them, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think was there too at one point.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like he's solid now. He started with the Niners, but Chargers, I think he can play pretty solid because I think they'll try to run the ball just like the Bears did against them. They'll try to run that same kind of offense, like run heavy, because they have they have Vidal, and they'll figure out a way to try to run the ball a lot to see if they can actually do the same thing the Bears did. But not all teams can do that against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles I'm sure they're going to be coming in like sharks in the water, like pissed off. Like I don't see this happening two games in a row. So I got the Eagles winning this game on the road, only because of the Herbert issue. Because I don't know what we're going to get out of the backup. So that's what I have. I have the Eagles.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, the Eagles could win this game. I think they should win this game. If they don't win this game, they're in trouble. And if the Dallas Cowboys catch them, after all this, that would be a third straight loss for the Eagles. I don't think the city of the brotherly love can take another loss from the Philadelphia Eagles 3 in a row.
It's that offense, though. The offense is not consistent like they should, and I think it's putting a lot of pressure on the defense.
They've got some internal issues, I think, that is deeper than what we can see on the surface. Because there's no way this team should be this bad, this
can't
fast.
see behind the curtain, because I mean, it starts with, I don't know if it's AJ Brown and with all the stuff that he's talking about, and Saquon hasn't been consistent like he usually is. Is he on too many commercials? Like, what's going on here? Like, I mean,
he's
I don't
eating
know.
too much Philly cheesesteak. He's eating too much Philly cheesesteak, so he might be getting a little wore down over there. And he got paid. Normally when some of these guys get paid, they don't perform well anyway. You know,
Yeah.
I hate to put that on Saquon. I think he's better than that, but he hasn't showed it this year. You know, last game, my Commanders at the Vikings, and you know what? I'm representing. I think we get a win this week. All right, because McCarthy, JJ McCarthy is going to come back, and he's playing this week. And I think the way we looked against the Broncos, and you know, Jaden Daniels is a possibility that he plays, and even if he doesn't play, I think Mariota showed me enough. And if Terry McLaurin is in this game with Debo Samuel, and you know, we might have a chance to beat this team. The Vikings defense can play though. The Vikings defense is still playing good football, but their offense has not been good. And JJ McCarthy, we need him to bounce us a couple of interceptions. That's what we need to do. We need to let JJ McCarthy continue to be not good. So my Commanders, I think they won't lose 8 straight this week. I think they'll beat the Vikings.
Yeah, I think y'all got a good chance. It's just got to watch out for that defense. The defense is coached very well.
Yeah.
But it's the offensive side that's sketchy because they can't even get the ball to Justin Jefferson, you know, and I have Justin Jefferson in fantasy. And I'm because I can't even get any fantasy points out of him because the quarterback play is horrible. And then Cook Senior went out, the running back. He got hurt.
Oh yeah, he did. I think so. Yeah, I think
so.
So,
and I think Mason got blasted too. So I don't know how that running back room is going to look for this game either. They're going to need something to play.
They got some injuries.
Yeah, I think I got a shot to get this game.
Yeah. All right, guys, we have to run. But thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Chasing the Highlights podcast. My name is Lonnie Washington and my co-host Tony Robinson. So you guys, you have a good night, partner. We'll be talking. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the games this week, starting with Thursday night. The Dallas Cowboys at Detroit. You don't want to miss that one. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
Peace.
Come alive, 2 ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive. Friends and fans, uniting with the truth, sharing the passion. Yeah, that's our proof. Chasing the highlights, where dreams come alive. 2 ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive. Friends and fans, uniting with the truth. We treasure the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay. Breaking down plays, had a